Aloha guys, you're watching GRTV Hawaii in search of equality, new ideas, and world peace. And exciting news here. I'm making some discoveries on why people pursue premarital intimacy. Firstly, if you didn't have sexual desire, of course you would wait for the right person. If you could just push a button to cease that sexual desire that controls you and that makes others want to control you, then you would. And masturbation obviously is an essential element to being able to not only naturally get to a enjoyment of life, gratification, not through marijuana or other drugs, but just regular masturbation, and it helps maintain virility, and you use it so you don't lose it type of approach to sexuality. Furthermore, that's number one. Number two is these mixed gender schools. They make people numb to sexuality, and they make it stifle those desires. You can no longer smell the nice woman's vagina when she's menstruating, which is a great smell, but it's like you kind of can't smell it when you're constantly around women. And there's less magnetism when you're too close to women. It kind of numbs you. That's number two. Number three is I just came up with this quote. It's that people fall in lust. They don't fall in love. They fall in love. Lust. People rise in love. And love is actually a scientific process. It's not emotional based. Emotion is lust, and emotion is spontaneous, non-committal stuff. Science, or after all the other chakras are activated, the first, second, and third chakra, the chakras for basic needs, sexual desires through masturbation, and emotions through self-empowerment. By the way, if you're not the first person in empowering yourself with self-talk and positive upliftment, guess what? Whoever is that first person in your life is in control of you. And that may be okay if they are your significant other, your dream mate, your life partner. But in any case, my position stands, and that is that people don't actively search out premarital intimacy. It occurs to them. And it's not so much, you'd think it's about the person, or like if you're attracted to them. Not necessarily. It may be someone you're not so attracted to, but just physical touch and seductive talking and different environments that controls the situation. So if you put yourself in the wrong environment, your sexual desires will take over, and they will have control over you, or even just as bad, if not worse, somebody else will take over you, because they and so warning signs to look out for people who are putting yourself in this position, or that you're doing it to yourself. Anything where it's you and the opposite gender, or people you're physically attracted to alone, or at nighttime, or quote unquote hanging out or chilling, all these vague terms. It's just like people saying they like someone, or they're attracted to them, or they're their boyfriend, or or secret or lover, or whatever. These are kind of lukewarm terms, and they're not real specific, and they just leave room for a lack of precision, a lack of understanding, a lack of science and precision of words, and for example, knowing what love is. Not only knowing that you want love, but knowing what love is. Love is, like I was saying, you rise in love, and you love somebody because of their corresponding values and goals to yours, not because not because when people say they love a person, you can't really love a person. You can only love their goals and values. The whole love, even when you say you love a person, it's kind of misleading. And of course, with this whole people saying they love each other as parents, but that's not even true, because first of all, it's bad to label somebody the role of a parent. It just makes you angry because you don't want to be submissive to an authority. You have to be submissive to yourself as your own final authority. It's not fair to expect somebody else to be your authority, emotionally or financially or otherwise be supportive of you, when you can do that perfectly. You're capable of doing it yourself. Come on, guys. So, again, premarital intimacy, it occurs if someone's trying to manipulate you. Somebody will offer you a quote-unquote free dinner, a free, invitation to something, bring it, especially if they're trying to get you in their house or their car. Other major red flags. They're using seductive language. Don't underestimate the power of people to seduce you using language or just a small touch. People complimenting you could be a red flag. Put your hands, protect your third solar plexus chakra. When somebody has power over you, it's like they're jumping into your chakras and they're able to tap into the rest of your chakras and take all your energy. There's another paradox out there where men think that they're conquering the woman or seducing the woman and kind of winning, but they're not winning, because the person is submissive to them, and that's a bitch. And who would want to give their energy and time to a bitch? And I'm not saying it could go the other way around. A man could be submissive to a woman. It's all, I'm not being sexist or anything here. I'm just saying that this is the type of thing that occurs, and I'm trying to use simplistic language and current nomenclature to express myself so that my idea gets across. So you don't want a bitch. You want a strong, competent person. And a lot of people might be intimidated by this type of person, but guess what? Especially men intimidated by a capable woman, but guess what? You won't be. You won't feel badly if you lose your job or your health, men, because your woman will look out for you if you have the same values and goals. Now, on the other hand, if if she's younger and healthier than you, and you're richer and older, whatever, blah blah blah, guess what? It's all about sex, money, and power. Then guess what? It's you will have to fear that she'll leave you. But there is no fear in a relationship where there's true love and understanding. And like I said, it's a science, guys, and I believe I'm on the forefront of it. Just like I'm on the forefront of the idea of biological seduction, pheromonal seduction that occurs when people are in immediate proximity to each other. Their biology takes over. Even if they're both decent people, they'll still end up maybe seducing one another. The Bible, even biblical, like the Christian, it doesn't clarify, like, no verbal intimacy either. Forget, no kissing, no they say no sex until marriage, right? Well, fucking what about kissing and verbal intimacy? Those are significant as well. And by the way, those are all more fucking significant than some singular fucking marriage ceremony with one quick kiss, which, by the way, public displays of affection, I think, it's just feminine. It's not like sacred. It's not like powerful. I don't want to say feminine is not powerful. Feminine is receptive. So when men think they're seducing the quote unquote bitch, they're not only wasting their energy on somebody they don't even care about. That's the prostitute paradox. You know, you seduce people you don't care about. If you cared about them, you would not seduce them. Uh, but they're wasting their time on somebody instead of building up the energy that they need to give to that special person. Woman is a receptor of energy. You know, it's sex is all about pleasing them, and it's not a bad thing. It just you give all your energy to the person, the woman, and then what are they going to do? Are they going to use that energy to help you live out and add fuel to your dreams, or does she have other goals and pursuits and agendas? That's why I think it's, well. And another thing is people get into premarital intimacy because one person's poor, or they're both poor, or they're both having a tough life, and they quote unquote lonely. You're fucking not lonely if you're with yourself, if you're present with yourself, and you're not in a position to be married until you have at least some financial stability, because people can't make clear decisions about their life if their basic needs aren't met, and if they're not able to meet their basic needs, desires, and wants, which you can do independent of anybody else, then how the fuck can you be sure that you're in the fourth chakra of true love and authenticity and unconditionality, where you can voluntarily say, hey, I am able to extend my love to you under no prerequisites or expectations or ulterior motives. Just like, I don't think if you're labeling somebody authority, or somebody's acting as the role of parent in your life, how can you love such a person? They, they are responsible for your needs, and that is the exchange. It's an exchange. It's not love. It's only love when all parties are rich. When you're rich, you can truly practice freedom, because you're doing things on a voluntary basis, not under the auspices of needing things and wanting things from one another. Of course, you can have exchanges and uplift one another, but the foundation of true love, true equality, true freedom it's in a state of richness. Now, another reason people engage in premarital intimacy is because they don't see themselves as royalty. They don't see themselves as high and grand and great. And you can say to yourself, you are grand and great. You are all that is. You are the unified field. You behave accordingly. And people who see themselves as royalty, can you imagine royalty pursuing girlfriend, boyfriend, etc., trying to do things in secret, half-heartedly, but here's another one, teasing them fucking selves. Do not ever tease yourself by like thinking that, oh, you might get a kiss, or you might get this, or they might like you. No mights. I'll conclude by saying that it's about making an online, and by the way, the height of the experience is giving oral sex to your wife. It's the pussy, it's womb worship, it's the celebration of the flower. It's just the way should be the special, activity defining moment for you as a couple. Like I was saying, make 2 dating profiles. One for yourself, what you want, what you absolutely need and not need, Maybe that has some physical expectations. Perhaps it has some, of course, values, like you like pets or you absolutely don't like pets. You like, for example, certain diet or lifestyle, or you absolutely don't like certain. You get clear, and then make a second profile that's your ideal wife, what she qualities she would have, and then match your profiles, and you can much more efficiently find the right one. Of course, you might be able to find the right one when are in a place of mutual interest, like if you both like to ocean sports, if you both like whatever hobbies, activities, you might find each other in such a setting, uh, and but then further you can further identify, well, do you both want to live a certain place the rest of your life? Do you both, what are your stances and opinions on different things? But then, try to make the really important, like, absolutely do's and don'ts. Like, for many, one might be absolutely doesn't smoke or drink, do drugs. Another absolute might be absolutely must exercise a certain amount. Just really establish those. Dating websites actually help to promote this too. They have psychology. They have certain matching techniques. But be aware of these things, and don't expect or hope for people to be nice or not want to seduce you. People are always in one chakra, and that chakra may very well be the second chakra. Often men, they want to get women to please them, but they should please themselves instead of letting that energy, sexual energy, desire for a masturbatory orgasm. It's not you're not desiring sex from a woman. You're desiring an orgasm. And lastly, control further by including yourself in the equation. Pure light. Imagine somebody you're romantically interested in. Them, don't want to seduce them, just imagine them smiling in joy, and imagine them holding a brilliant sphere of white light. Maybe they find somebody else who is a good match for them. Don't want to seduce them, want good for them. The default mind often will say, oh, I want that person to like me or want me. No, you make your higher consciousness jump in and say, I want this person to have a great life, to be with someone even if it's not me. Imagine that person smiling. Imagine brilliant white light around them. Everyone is aghast in astonishment, like, wow, look at this brilliant light. That's light work. You can do it on people you're angry at. You can do it on people you're romantically interested in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This has been fun. I've done a great recap here. Let me think if there's anything I missed. You can wear a wedding band on your, wedding ring, and people ask, say, well, I'm married to my dreams, my values. And another thing is the mistaken idea of availability. You're not available. You're not ever available, except when you are ready to find a partner, and your life partner, and you're ready. You either have financial stability for having children. By the way, you don't need financial stability to find your dream mate. Only if you want to have children. And I suggest people have children right away, and then get a vasectomy or mastectomy, instead of use these poisonous whatever they are, drugs, anti-fertility, whatever drugs, to prevent pregnancy. And don't. You need to keep a chart that says you're one day closer to your right person. Every single day counts. People would say, oh, well, what's one day, of sexual enjoyment with someone? It's one day further away from your dream mate. And guess what? It's kind of like this. People might say, oh, what's the big deal if I spend an extra $5 here, or I have this hobby that costs me $50 a month. Here's how the universe works. You put every single and this is how rich people work. You put every single detail, like, okay, I'm not going to spend that extra, you know, $5, whatever, whatever a month. And then the universe says that person is doing every single thing they can do to protect every single expense that they have, to ensure that they are, doing what they can to be responsible, uh, financial prudency. We're going to reward them. That's how the universe works. So this is the same way as with this significant other. And remember, this is, just think of it like this: it's the energy of a person. You're doing fun things together, and you're smiling, and you have this sensation of love in your, like, in your third chakra. You feel that sensation of love, instead of just the sensation of lust, where you're just with someone and it's just lust. It's so different, such a different energy. Um, and yeah, remember, if it's not love, if the underlying agenda is not, I want to find somebody that's true love, then the default is lust. People say, oh, well, I want to try experiment. You don't need a fucking experiment. You can do everything you need to do with an online, even looking at someone's Facebook profile, or if it gets further into it, you can email, you can video chat, you can mutually masturbate, whatever, via video camera. You can know what you need to know via in a safe way. Okay. And it would also be useful to have an overseer, not necessarily a parental guardian, but somebody playing the role of that, you, like a professional matchmaker who protects you and encourages you to masturbate and not let people control you, and furthermore helps you to find someone and analyzes objectively, are you just lusting after them, or is this a real potential? So, this is not for the weak. It takes intelligence to do this. Okay, guys? So this is for the strong, the powerful, and that's the paradox. Paradox is, oh, well, this person's so strong and they're all seducing one each other. That's not worthy of envy. It's suffering. Okay, it's illusion. It's Maya. Fucking reality, okay, is true love, and that we are our dreams and our soul and our energy, and if we give it to the wrong person, we're saying no to ourselves and who we are, and to our future dream mate. If you're not available right now, then you're not available for your future dream mate. If you're with somebody else, then how are you gonna meet your dream mate? You know what I mean? So yeah, guys, remember, if it's not love, if it's not an active pursuit of love, it's a pursuit of lust. And the paradox is that it seems like tough people who seduce each other are powerful, but it's a lack of power, it's a lack of self-respect, it's a lack of respect for the other person, it's a lack of knowledge.